This region around the Great Lakes has been called the heartland. When it comes to agriculture, there's hardly an area in the world that compares.
Everybody, just hold on. I don't know what we're going to have here.
There's a lot of self-proclaimed geniuses out there that know the national yield, but they're all wrong.
Manage money, piling in.
Double digits higher.
So at this point, we're in kind of uncharted territory.
There's a lot of money on the sidelines.
So that was a crazy one.
That's what brings the viewers back. That a boy.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, May 8th, and this is the AgYield War Room. Dan Dempsey will be moderating today's session. As always, if you get any questions or comments, please feel free to drop us a line in the chat area. I'll be sure to get to it during the show. Overnight markets here, July corn down 3/4 at 466 3/4. July soybeans were up 5 3/4 at 11.98. And July Chicago wheat was up 1 3/4 at 6.14. No export sales announced here this morning. We did get non-farm payrolls, which were much better than expected, up 115,000 for the month. Estimates were looking for a number closer to 55,000. So certainly positive for the outside market. Stock market's up about 130 right now, just on 49,826 is the last there. Unemployment rate held steady, unchanged at 4.3%. Quite a bit of tension yesterday in the Strait. So obviously things ratcheting up here a little bit. They maintain that the ceasefire is still in place, but there's fighting going on. So Dustin, with that, why don't you give us some thoughts here as we wrap up the week, and then we'll throw around the room.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's headline fatigue. I think energy prices have been fairly tame considering what you're seeing on the screen for an Iranian, army, tanker seizure and more gunfire exchange between the two, and kind of strong words from the PM. It's the market, I think, is knows that the desire for peace is probably higher than it was in the middle part of this war, or the early part of the war. And I think the market's trying to assume the best. So like we said yesterday morning, it's you really can't necessarily predict what's going to happen next. It looked very, very likely that a peace deal was happening in the process. We talked a little bit about some of these odds, these betting markets. You can actually see what people are betting the odds of return to normalcy are. And they were jumping sharply yesterday morning. And then they fell by yesterday afternoon because, the surprise that the uranium was not up for grabs again, that they were not planning to give that up. So I would say this, market probably is the best calculator on it, better than what we can assume. I think watching some of those odds markets is helpful too. But the longer we go, if this back and forth just keeps happening this way, the bigger an issue it'll be, right? So if we're still having this exact same conversation 2 weeks from now, we'll probably have another chance for new highs again on corn, would be my guess. So it's just about calculating what you can hedge, how to hedge, and then not getting too strong of an opinion, because there's been a heck of a time for global markets to try to figure this out, not just us in our grain markets.
Yeah, we'll get a going to get a USDA report next Tuesday. I saw some initial estimates. Justin, looks like they're going to start right around 183 or so for corn, which I know we've said what was going to be the starting point. It looked like, interestingly enough, they're about 53 or so unchanged for beans. So I guess that'll be where we start our balance sheet and then argue from there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how excited we'll be about the report with all the stuff we're dealing with every day here. Mm-hmm. Tinfoil hat here since we're on Friday, but you got midterms coming up. There's so many internal battles here that I think they're going to make it tough on Trump at every turn. We've got this war going on as well, but I think you have plenty of infighting here in the country that we're not really unified on anything. I think it's just, and we're dealing with a country that I don't know if anyone knows who's in charge there. Like, whenever we talked about this offline, but it's like, you see all these headlines, Iran has agreed to this, or Iran says that, or it's like, who says that? Who's like, who are we even dealing with there? And you can have a deal with one faction and another faction decides they're going to shoot bazookas at the whatever moves. I mean, it's just such a, it's been a fader's market, because if you just fade these headlines, just wait for 6 hours or 3 hours or 30 minutes and a different headline that says the opposite will come out. So I think there's definitely headline fatigue going on. To Dustin's point, I don't know that we see a resolution over the weekend. I think you're going to, build premium into these markets going over weekends. But I don't know how you can try to market your grain based on headlines. That's for sure. I mean, you have to just, look at the price, again, not trying to be a broken record here, but you just kind of have to be disciplined in, what opportunities exist right now. What can I do? What's my level of comfort going into the growing season? That's all you can do in this environment. You try to overguess it. I mean, try not to, screw yourself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Do not get into the mental game of what the next political headline is going to be. I'm talking to myself as well. Like right when you're trading,
so self-help.
A little self, a little book club here, but it's really how you have to go through these markets.
So I got the question yesterday though, Justin. If somebody cornered you right now, I mean, where would you put the start to this season, just purely from a crop perspective, looking
Average.
at holistically?
Average. I think there's a question. I was actually talking to, Jason and I's younger brother about this, but like we planted a lot of acres. It's been cold and kind of wet and not great. Now obviously the weather can, hopefully we get some heat and all those things to help, but we planted a lot. Was it great? I don't know that we're going to know that for a little bit. It's definitely not the best start we've had, and it's not the worst start. So I would put it as a neutral at best, personally.
And the forecast looks pretty good, right? You got kind of colder temps this week, and then it looks to warm up next week and pretty dry. So I bet a lot gets done, right?
A lot gets done. I think if you said, how have we done to date?
Yeah.
We got a lot of acres put in the ground. Were they the best start? I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I just think it's average. It's not great. You can't say this is the best start we've had. That's for sure.
And you got Nebraska being as dry as it is. I mean, obviously irrigated will carry it, but if you look at last year, the West, by all accounts, carried the national yield for a big majority, right? I mean, it was a big contributor. If they're off, I mean, they're not off to a great start from the dryland perspective. I mean, it's bone dry out there, so.
Yeah, again, a lot of growing season left. We were having frost a couple days ago, so, we were joking about it. Like, the trend has been to plant a bunch of beans early because you get the, bigger yield bump than corn, all those kind of things. So that's certainly been the trend, but now we've had some kind of cold, kind of crappy weather. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
With beans, who knows?
With beans, right?
The more
beans might be 75 national bean. I mean, beans are the worst. We won't even know in August. So
we'll find out that frost is good for them. Yeah.
I would just say, like, this isn't like a great start. It's a normal start. So I think the markets are staying kind of supported here. I think the demand's good enough. I think we got a good enough story that it's not overwhelmingly bearish because of the weather that we've had so far. Put it that way.
I can't believe how quiet Crude is this morning, though. I mean, if we're being honest, with everything that happened yesterday, I mean, it's like it feels like.
What are you supposed to do? I mean, that's the
be
problem.
up $10. I guess I don't know.
It's like I said, it's fatigue.
Yeah.
People get sick of trading with the algos and getting picked off. So yeah, if you've at any of these markets, if you're willing to buy dips and sell rallies, you've done really well. If you try to chase stuff, you've gotten killed. So
I can't remember yesterday, but no till is puts out a question about 2014. Dustin and Jason for 2014.
Well, 2014, cool, wet, right? Big yields. Like, yeah, I'm, those are, if you have this kind of weather in July and August, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a cooler than average, wetter than average, right? Those are recipes for huge yields. 2000, years that end in 4, which I hate, but 2004, 1994, 2014, all were kind of cool, wet, massive yields.
But what about the heating degree days? That
exactly, right? People talked about, we don't have enough heating degree days. That was gigantic yields. I think that's, absolutely, if we're talking July, August. May, I think that's kind of on the negative column personally.
Very good. Let's move quickly here over to Livestock. Ryland, really strange discount yesterday between cash and futures, like how that whole thing worked out by the end of the day, and then boringly mixed for hogs. So why don't you put a bow on the week for us?
Yeah, just really bizarre kind of price action, right? We had this big drop even after we kind of saw cash bids starting to improve. We saw 256 trade in Texas, 257 trade in Kansas, 258 in Iowa, Nebraska, and then bids started to surface at 260. So you've just got a raging higher cash market again this week, and futures sell off really aggressively. So it was just kind of strange price action. I know we're starting to roll right now in the midst of the Goldman roll. We did see a decent chunk of liquidation too on the live side of the market, which is strange coming on the heels of that kind of cash news. So just very strange. We even saw liquidation in the feeder market. So, June futures dropped right back down to the 25-day moving average, a big kind of one-day move here, and then was bought. So it did hold those kind of losses, but just not as bad as it could have been. So yeah, I think everybody's racking their brain trying to figure out, okay, what was the news? And I think there was a meeting between Trump and Lula to some degree. There could be some beef import deals down the road the market's not aware of yet. I think that's a really big concern, especially after March. Beef imports from Brazil were just absolutely monsters. So I think you got that on the table as well. So we'll see if if anything's released regarding that news to kind of justify this price action. Otherwise, could have a little bit of something just to do with the roll. So we'll see if there's any more news. But cash is on fire right now. Still, everything still kind of seems like it's kind of tight. Maybe the market's starting to feel the pressure from the beef a little bit. Beef was down sharply. Choice down 268 yesterday. Select down 521. So beef market's starting to see some weakness here. But overall, I think the focus is still going to become on cash right now. On the hog side of things, kind of same thing. Saw a little bit more liquidation. Just could not get cash markets to hold up this week. I think that's really where the disappointment was. So naturally, I think you had everybody kind of come in to sell this thing. Cash is down $3.89. Just kind of took away all the gains that we pretty much had for the week. So it's going to be a cash game, I think, for the next several weeks. And we'll see if we start seeing any kind of seasonal up after next week into the in hams and in and bellies, just to maybe give us a little bit of support. But otherwise, just a weak market here right now, and it looks like still seeing more liquidation.
Very good. Way to play hurt, kid. That was good stuff. We've made another week here, guys. We got through it. Brian, Fun Fact Friday. Let's send us off.
All right. Thanks, and happy Friday, everybody. Kudos to Justin on this one. I was really struggling to find a topic. So today we're going to learn about the Gizzard Shad, probably more than everyone would want to. So the Gizzard Shad is a bizarre freshwater fish known for having a gizzard-like stomach, which functions like a turkey gizzard. It actually ingests sand to help grind up the algae and the organic minerals that it eats. They are a master escape artists. They skip like stones on the top of the water, but when being chased by their predators, so they earn the nickname Skipjack. They are baby making machines. Female lays up to 380,000 eggs in one season.
Jeez.
And these fish grow incredibly fast, like an inch a month. So they really just kind of take over lake. But as they're babies, all the largemouth bass, all those other fish just love them. But as they get bigger, they can't digest it because they got so many bones. So that's where they start to invade on the lake. They accidentally can poison alligators. So gizzard shads have extremely high levels of thymazine, an enzyme that breaks down vitamin B. So in Florida, i.e. Lake Griffin, if the alligators eat too many of these, it causes a vitamin deficiency, leading to neurological issues and death. So you gotta pause on how many you could take down. So as I was doing my deep dive into the gizzard shad, I'm like, where else have I heard this gizzard? And it occurs to me, our favorite backup host, Jack's favorite band is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, an Aussie psych rock juggernaut. So is there any comparisons between the two?
Oh my God.
And there is a comparison.
Of course.
So the gizzard shad survives in murky, confusing environments. So do first-time listeners trying to understand a 9-minute-long psychedelic jazz metal song. I know I've seen Dan reaction to it, listening to it.
Special.
And I'm really kind of bummed that Dustin fell off here, because lastly, I believe we found a picture of the man who caught the largest gizzard shad recently in Michigan.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, I love the shirt.
Gizzard.
That's great.
Yeah.
So that's what he does up north. Huh?
Michigan guys.
Look how happy he is. That's awesome.
Happy
Where's
Friday,
his
everybody.
headset?
Yeah, right.
I'm a little disappointed he doesn't have his headset,
doesn't.
Ryland.
Wow, yeah, really.
He doesn't wear a headset. That's just him.
Very good, Brian. Appreciate that, buddy. Just came into the open. We got July corn down 3/4, now 467 is the last there. July soybeans are up 5 at 11.97 1/4, and July Chicago wheat is up a penny at 6.13 1/4. We put out premium video on crop insurance here earlier this week. Dustin did a great job on that. Check it out. The link is in the description for the War Room Report. Gives you a deeper dive every day into the things that we talk about here on the War Room, as well as access to that premium content. So be sure to check that out. And also a portion of those subscription fees will go directly to support the AgYield NextGen Foundation, which of course puts on our national scholarship competition. Leads me to my next point. Check out the Golf Classic and AgYield NextGen Foundation outing July 27th at Royal Country Club. It's going to be a great day. Meet and mingle with all the team here at AgYield. The winners of the scholarships are coming in. It's going to be a great day. And also raising money for a great cause so that we can continue to.
What do we have left in that game? Only like a couple foursomes, right? Left.
Yeah, we're like 2 away from being capped, so space is limited. But give us a call. We can get you registered, and it's gonna be an awesome day. We got a Callaway shopping experience, a full day of events on the golf course. Meet and mingle with the people in the industry. So it's gonna be a cool day. And hopefully by there, we get a little warm weather by July. Yeah, so it'll be
good. This is 2014.
Unless it's 14, we need rain gear. So anyway, check that out. It's good stuff there. Appreciate everybody that tunes in every day. If you wouldn't mind, throw us a like and certainly subscribe. We're doing this every day that the markets are open on X, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live at 8:15 Central Time. Also, I'd be remiss, guys, don't forget, Sunday is Mother's Day. To all the mothers that listen to the War Room, happy Mother's Day. We couldn't do it without you. And have a great weekend, and we will talk to you again on Monday.
The War Room is presented by AgYield, a risk management partner of American grain farmers for over 50 years. Looking for more in-depth analysis? Check out the War Room Report. Our team's knowledge and expertise delivered straight to your inbox every weekday. Each report delivers key market-moving headlines, critical weather updates, USDA report breakdowns, and exclusive video content. All for $50 a month. And most importantly, 10% of every subscription will go directly to support the AgYield NextGen Foundation, a nonprofit investing in agricultural education and the future of farming. To sign up for the War Room Report, check out the link in the description or learn more at agyield.com.
Hey guys, Jack here. Be sure to support the show by hitting the like button, leaving us a comment, and subscribing to the channel for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.